like a cell generation. Slow jams, conversation, late night stimulation. Call in love session. Love session. Monday night.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year 2018. I know it's been a minute, but we are back. It's your girl, Akilah Trinay, and you are tuned in to Love Sessions. Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Our conversation is devoted to bridging the conversation gap between men and women as a means to combat the war on relationships. We cover topics that are often overlooked, unmentioned, and outright taboo to shed light on our insecurities and idiosyncrasies as a way to humanize a love experience. Our conversation is real. Our conversation is refreshing and relevant. You're guaranteed to walk away from a show with greater insight of yourself and others around you. At the end of the day, we all echo the same sentiment. I need love. Class is now in session. Yeah.
Wow. You still got that down.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I should probably have it memorized. I do want to give a quick shout out. Hold on, let me put my laptop down real quick. To Good News Radio. Keith hooked me up with a shirt when I went to visit.
Where's our shirt?
It's because
cover shirt short.
He actually owed it to me because I went on the show.
Short.
So you get a show.
Yeah,
you get a shirt.
Yeah. So. He didn't have them at the time, so I had to remind him when I went to, as Charles would say, pull up on him. Yeah. And I was like, hey, where's my shirt? He had to go to the trunk.
You do have to remind folks about giving you shirts.
Right. And shout out to Charles for rocking the Beyond the Hurt shirt.
I mean, not
right now, but, he did and sent us the pic, So I'm going to kick it over to my right, to Miss Destiny, SugarrFoot.
Wow, I haven't done this in so long. I gotta make sure I got. Hey y'all, how y'all been? I missed you guys, low key.
I missed you.
The audience, us,
all of y'all, everybody.
That's what's up. And then we got a new set.
No, for real, it's really dope.
Don't forget that. Shout
out
the
lighting in here is fly. Okay. All right. So I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors, starting with Revision Publishing.
Yeah.
By the lovely Akilah Beyond the Hurt. See, look, it hasn't been a while. It's been a while. It's
Which is still available on Amazon.
Dang, I was about to say that. Which is also available on Amazon. Go check out her book so you guys can get a copy of that. She will definitely remind you constantly so you won't forget. Don't even worry about it. And then our other sponsor, Dear Uzuri. Uzuri spelled Uzuri, which means beauty in the Swahili language.
I saw Tangi randomly too.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw her last night. I mean, yesterday.
Yeah. So
on the way here?
Yeah, on the way. Not on the way here just now, but I was on the way home to come here, and I seen her and her daughter. Randomly, I was with my son.
Shout out to her. She's doing like super major things, and
she got another event coming up.
She's about to start like just shelling them out, events, and so I definitely want to make sure, of course, for all of us that we support her and what she's doing. But she's moving.
That's dope.
Dope.
Shaking and moving.
That's definitely dope. Well, her movement is a movement to encourage women to properly heal from internalized pain and practice healthy communication. So I'm sure there's a lot of women out there who want to check that out, who would want to check that out. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated. You guys can also follow them on Instagram at Dear Uzuri. Once again, that's Uzuri. So make sure you guys check them out, and we'll keep you updated on those events. And then I'm going to kick it to Mr. Dance Hustle to my right, so he can let you guys know about our social media.
Yay.
Wow.
Right?
Not you.
No, it is me. He kind of jacked it from the bay, but
wow.
Right, and I told him that a long time ago.
Yeah, but I had to reclaim it. Reclaim my time. But yeah, what up? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy, Young Dance Hustle. You know what I'm
He
saying?
young now, y'all.
Oh, I've been young. That's always been my alias, but I'm just bringing
My
it back
alias.
We're back. So we got social media. We know we're on IG. We might not have been kind of posting a lot, but you know we're gonna get back now that we got a lot of content out, or that we're making new content for the 2018. So basically, all that to say is follow us on our social media, which is U Nation Radio, the letter U Nation Radio. That's on IG. Or you can look us up on Facebook. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, so that's lit. You know, on our Facebook page, which is U Nation Radio. So, you know what I'm saying? That's some new content for 2018. And then on Twitter, which is at UNation_radio. And that's our social media. And normally there's an empty chair on the other side right here that I would be kicking it to, but you know,
He couldn't wait to do that in the new year. He couldn't wait to be able to do that.
Look, hey, shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Detroit. You know, usually he's here, right, faithfully, right. So I would always have him.
Usually, guys.
I would have him here, so I would have him to go to, but he's not. So basically, I'm gonna have to give you the number, and the number is that you can call in, and you can just call in and just chop it up with us. So if you're listening in and you want to chop it up, you know, chime in on what we're talking about. The number, listener, is 323-293-3375.
And it's on the screen.
And it's on the screen.
Okay. And you got the love sessions. Join the combo. Look, I don't know if y'all looking at us live stream, but that's dope. So 323-293-3375.
And if you really want to be cool, you can turn on your TV.
Yeah.
And watch live from there. I think that's the coolest thing. Like, it just blows my mind for me to be able to turn my TV on, log into Facebook, and watch random videos that I would watch on my phone or watch
technology,
people
huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I was watching us. We was on TV.
Oh yeah. You watched the episode? No, I never watched it.
No, I didn't want to watch it because it was like weird. So I was like, I don't want to be sitting here watching myself on TV.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't.
But you guys can watch us on your TV.
You all can.
Yeah, that's not weird.
You know.
What's up? What are we talking about today? What's going on?
Well, what we are talking about is the fact that it's a new year, 2018, and although it seems just like 2017, because not too much has changed, it's a lot more of the same has been going on. We are going to explore some different things that are going on in relationships. Some new relationship trends, only because I feel like the way that people used to date years ago is not really the same as people are dating now. We're going to get into a little bit of She's Gotta Have It and talk about that series on Netflix.
I'm not on that.
You haven't seen it? Yes, I'm not the one who hasn't seen it. This is great.
Well, you know, we will bring you up to speed a little bit. It really is more just the gist of kind of like what goes on in the show.
Movie? Spike Lee's actual movie?
Yeah, the original. So
you've seen it.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Oh, really?
It's just more modern.
I've seen interviews.
It's just more modernized and broken into episodes, literally saying the exact same things.
You know, and I wanted to actually go back, but I'll get into that when we get to She's Gotta Have It.
Okay.
But while we get ourselves ready to hop into those conversations, we're going to take a very quick break, and then we're going to be back to you all. So stay with us. All right, so we are back, and we've been on hiatus. Just if you guys didn't know, you're tuning in, whatever. We've been on hiatus since I think October, and so it seems like a lifetime. But so much has actually happened since October. Things that, of course, we would have loved to talk about. Some of the stuff is dated, but one of the things that I know is still going on are the Hollywood scandals. In case you didn't know, Trump is still president, unfortunately. But in Hollywood, it's been going down, like literally. And I personally can't keep up with it
at all.
And I'm sure that sex scandals and all of those things are happening probably in every industry. It's just unfortunate the way that it's unfolding now. But the thing that kind of struck me, the video that I saw that I was sharing with you, was the one with Terry Crews when he was talking about his sexual assault from his agent. And I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like, when I used to work as a publicist some years ago, I used to hear a lot of stuff about, like, what was going down, like, in the industry, as far as some things were just, like, power stuff. It wasn't all, like, just sexual, like, oh, I'm really into you. A lot of it was, like, control and kind of like a domination type of thing. Like, I can do this. I can do whatever I want, and you're going to let it happen. You know what I mean? To exercise just that control. And it's unfortunate that it happened to him, but I also feel like it was also kind of weird to hear at the same time. Like, you're like, this big, buff, black man, is being sexually assaulted by probably a smaller white guy.
Much smaller.
And I don't want to take anything, from him, but I'm sure some people were kind of looking at him like with the side eye, like, really? Because they're like, why would you come out now and say this? And I commended this part is the fact that he said that he's hearing all these stories about women, right, experiencing all this stuff. And he felt like he would be a hypocrite if he pretty much just kept silent and didn't say anything, you know what I mean? And let a lot of these women just kind of like suffer or put themselves out there with explaining what happened without actually stepping up and saying, like, hey, it also happened to me. Like, this is a real thing that's going on. So if you haven't seen it, you could check out the interview with Terry Crews and Michael Strahan. I'm sure he went on other platforms as well and told the story, but that was the specific one that I saw where I was like, wow. I
saw it was so Me Too is now after Oprah, it's evolved to Time's Up. After Oprah came out at the
you said Me Too?
The hashtag Me Too?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so Me Too, the Me Too hashtag is like, it keeps evolving and to the point now it's like Time's Up. So Oprah, that's what she said. That's what she said at her speech at the what was it at the SAG Awards? Yeah,
the Golden Globes, right?
Golden Globes, yeah. So Golden Globes, but yeah. So I don't know. It's an interesting time. I think it's an interesting time for a lot of reasons, and I think it is. I think the time is up, and that's just like I just been observing. I would say, seeing all the interviews, seeing people come out. There's something that keeps playing on my mind with this interview that not interview, but Dave Chappelle's last special
on Netflix.
On Netflix. Did you guys?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you guys see it? You saw both of them?
I haven't seen it yet.
He had two, right? The two. Did you see the two of them? The one he's like sitting down in a chair.
I didn't see the one he was sitting down, and I was trying to look for it because I was like, I know he had another one on here, but I just watched the one that came out on New Year's Day.
Okay, yeah, they both came out at the same time, but it was like you had to it wasn't that easy to just. It
okay, because I was looking for it because I knew that there was two, but I couldn't find it, so I only saw the one where he was standing up and he had the gray, I think, coat on.
Yeah. So.
Well, I was going to say really quick, guys, we actually have a caller on the line.
Oh, wow, okay. Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Chilling.
Oh, pretty good. I just been following you guys' channel for a bit, and I saw you guys were live, and I wanted to say what's up.
Hey.
Hey.
So what's your name, man? Where you from?
Oh, I'm from LA. My name is Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah, what's the topic today?
Well, Ray, we were just talking about the scandals going on in Hollywood, the sex scandals, but we're also talking about how relationships have kind of evolved now than what they were back in the day. I call them new trends in relationships. We haven't gotten into everything, but I don't know if there's anything that you want to share on that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that you guys are talking about that because I do driving sometimes. I do Uber, just as a side job. And I was talking to some young ladies. I got in the car, and they were talking about dating. And somehow I ended up in the conversation. They're like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Well, I told them I felt bad for them because it's not like before. You know, now like before back in the days. I don't know if you guys remember, the ladies." The guy had to get out of the car.
And open the door.
Yeah.
No, that don't happen no more.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh my God, we wish we could experience that." But it's so different.
I remember my own mom just telling me, like, when I was dating, because I'm married now, but she would say, like, I feel sorry for you having a date in this day and age. And I was like, well, dang, like, that doesn't make me feel good. But I understood, like,
Yeah,
The difference.
what she meant and what she was talking about. So, because it's hard out there.
And
Are
what
you
about-
in a relationship or married or?
I'm married now. Luckily, I'm glad.
He's like, I don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah, because it's a whole different game nowadays. We're competing with a lot of ego. And when I say we, I mean males and females. Egos of social media, flossing and all that. So I think the game has changed a lot, and it's a little bit more deceptive. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree with you. And it's one of those things where I highly doubt that we'll end up going back, you know what I mean, to the way things are. And it's like kind of making the best of, what we have to deal with in today's world. But
well, before you go, what advice can you give to the ladies who are dating today?
Just don't be, how can I say, there's nice guys out there, but at the same time, take your time and, get to know the person. That's my only advice, but.
Take your time.
Take your time. I like that. Well, thank you so much.
I want to thank you guys for taking my call, and I'm going to let you guys go so I can enjoy the show, and you guys can jump into the whole.
Well, thank you for calling.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Shout out to
appreciate
you.
that. Shout
Continue to
out.
listen. We appreciate you for tuning in.
All right. You guys have a good one, and happy 2018.
You
Same
too.
to you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay. Peace.
Yeah, so shout out to all the dudes that's married,
And the women they're married
yeah.
to.
Well, yeah, but as a dude,
And the ones that's trying to.
yeah, as a dude,
I feel a married vibe coming from this area.
but as a dude,
Yes.
trying to date in this current state of affairs, it's different, and it's different from where we grew up. And something that plays my mind is that Charlamagne says that we grew up in especially when you grew up in the early 90s, and I was born in 82, so I was like a teenager in the golden era of hip hop,
Right.
all that stuff. So there was definitely a rape culture, things that were normalized, straight normalized through either rape. They call it, now I'm understanding that it's rape culture. Then there's things that was misogynistic, homophobic, just through the hip hop culture that we grew up on, and then it's just like, wow, these things are going on, and then and now it's 2018, and it's like these things are just not kosher, you know what I'm saying, whatsoever, you know what I'm saying, but things that you just like, I mean, and
But
these
it's
are
not
rappers.
even shocking
swept
anymore.
under the
Like
rug.
where people would like be shocked by certain things, like what, like oh my god, or hush hush.
Yeah.
Like now it's like no, like how about I just snap this whole ratchet situation that probably should be a secret.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now
definitely a lot of ratchet. A lot of thank God, a lot of my top tier ratchetness years was not during the smartphone era.
Lord,
You know
I
what I'm
wish
saying?
it was.
it couldn't
You know what I'm
be
saying?
caught on tape. Like
Who knows what we would have found?
Yeah, but see, and I'll say that too. Like, so I'm watching. So just two examples of things that a couple examples, but like. Ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Lord.
Everywhere I go, I see the same. You know what I'm saying? Just they shit with hoes and tricks. All those different things that we was in the club, or whatever you was at, singing live.
At the function.
It's all good. So then that's one part. But then the F-bomb, how normalized it was. I'm talking about the 4-letter with that F-bomb. That is not that
Was
you.
there another F-bomb?
No, because you can say I'm talking about like it rhymes with hag, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? One of those that thing. But all right, so look,
not the 3-letter one.
yeah.
Right.
So look, I'm over here with my son. I'm watching Netflix. We're chilling. Pause. But
You don't have to pause. You was with your son.
I know. I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to say that.
No,
but
it's
anyways,
uncultured.
Right.
But look, we're watching Teen Wolf. Right. I'm watching 2 classic movies that I'm watching Bill and Ted Adventures and Teen Wolf. Literally just trying to show him my little nepotism. We watching Teen Wolf. And this is like a scene in the movie. The kid, Michael J. Fox, is in his garage, and his best friend comes in, and he's like, hey, man, I got to tell you something. Right now he's about to tell him, like, yo, I'm becoming a werewolf, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes to him, yo, man, I got to talk to you about something serious. I got to tell you something. He's like, yo, man, don't tell me you a F. If you are, I'm about to, he's like, I'm getting out of here, right? And I'm like,
really? They said that?
No, that's what he said. It said in the movie. I'm like,
I don't remember that.
I didn't remember it either.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? This is a kid's movie. You know what I'm saying? It's Teen Wolf. So,
But it was also
that was just a scene in the movie that got
approved.
light
Then.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Same thing. Bill and Ted in Excellent Adventures.
So it didn't point out to you until now.
Yeah, no, it just jumped out at me before that. Wow. No. Bill and Ted Excellent Adventures. They sit up here and Bill or whatever, they thought one died, and then they figured out, he thought it was dead, like it was a sword fight. They thought it was dead. They get up and hug each other. Oh my God, you're not dead or whatever, right? They hug each other, and then they realize that they're like 2 guys hugging. Mm-hmm. So like they just go back, whatever, like F, you know what I'm saying? And they like, they don't want to, don't call me, you know what I'm saying? Don't hug me like that. Mm-hmm. So that's the way to say that instead of in
body language.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy about that is we become, we not us literally, but just as a culture, as a society, in a country, we become more like desensitized to stuff, which is going to be a contradiction what I'm about to say, but sensitive to stuff at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like you said, whereas you can watch those shows and it was made light of, homosexuality or whatever, right? And then now we're in a time where you have more people who are openly out, so gay, like, homosexuality. I mean,
being all sensitive to
out,
be seen,
right? But then at the same time, having to be super duper sensitive to them as well, or you get what I'm saying? At the same time, so it's like we like take steps forward, but then as we take those steps forward, instead of being able to kind of be openly opinionated about how you feel about stuff and just not in like a judgmental or
I think also education and exposure and knowing that that's a hateful term in a sense, more so than, yes, in the early 90s it was viewed completely different.
But are people as sensitive, and not even trying to change the subject, but it gets me specifically because are people as sensitive to other things that have somehow evolved, like the N word or the B word or all these other words where they still are, they can be hateful, they can be negative, they can all of that, but there's this happier side. But certain terms, you get what I'm saying, when it's limits. Political.
Yeah, off limits. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. There's definitely, I would say, the thing about, the N word, I'm black. I'm even saying the N word just because I want to say
black.
it. But surprise. I think we just make it so cool. We just make it so cool and tantalizing. I mean, that it's in the music that they love. Hip hop culture is the number one.
We've just forgotten what the real meaning behind it is.
So we don't use it in that. I mean,
but either way, no matter how you use it, that's what it means.
But I feel like that along the lines of
hip hop culture, hip hop music is the number one genre of music in the entire world. It's beat out like every other genre. And so
it is. And have you seen how it's changed too?
Drastically.
Hip hop culture.
Yeah. Yeah. But I was a while back I was saying something to make a point that we got the caller, right? And
he went way back.
Yeah,
okay.
Wow. Caller,
back to 82. Let's go.
So all right, I got this. Stop laughing.
New Year's, same trials. New Year's, same trials.
So
we're giving you a moment to collect your thoughts so you can spit it out.
Let me think. So, all right, there was a Charlemagne said the rape culture, right? But then what was I saying with the
now
video? Oh, sorry. The caller made me lose my thought, and I thought we was gonna pick it back up, but whatever.
You thought we were gonna pick up your thought?
I'm trying to. We all clicking on all cylinders. But seriously, all right. So this is what I was saying. But the Michael Shanahan and all those different cases that are coming out. The Michael Strahan interview with Terry Crews. And
it's coming back to you now.
Yeah, and all these different cases that are coming out. It's like, I know it has to be, at least as a dude, a scary time in Hollywood, especially. It's like, it's just the rules of engagement have changed. There's like this whole consent thing, and then it's like with the Aziz Ansari.
Oh, you're saying like with the men and how they are interacting with the women, and how the lines are kind of getting blurred with consent, what they're thinking. We're both consenting to this, or we're cool with it, and now it can be turned around to
so much easier for a woman to try to do that to a man than it is for a man to be able to do that to a woman.
I would honestly hope that a woman wouldn't do that.
But a lot do.
And I know that exists
sadly.
too.
Well, I think dudes, there has been, I think with people in power, and it's now we're talking about people in power, we're talking about Hollywood, we're talking about the workplace and things of that nature. There's power structures in the church. There's power structures in just social, in communities and different types of communities. And you know what I'm saying? It's just not in the workplace. There's just power dynamics. And a lot of those times the power dynamics are with men. And so, I just think that there's a lot to be learned, on both sides. But I think especially for men in particular, they basically, it's like I posted the Women's March. I was like, I'm with her, and I at the same time it was a general statement, because I'm saying I don't really, because there was a lot of hers there, and every woman, so many women there, they had different messages and different things that they wanted to say. People were talking about women's rights. Someone was talking about Black women's rights, wage gaps, and just every woman had different experiences. And I would say I would liken to this time in history when it comes to like women and what's going on, is like me being Black and like having like friends that are like white and all that, and basically trying to get them to understand my experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's like, I know that I'm a black man. I have my own experience. I have certain things that I wouldn't do, like just ways about myself, and it's unique to me, or it's a black experience or a black male experience in America, and you know, you could try to put it into words, but you're not necessarily it might not just click for that person,
right?
And then it's like, even though I have a daughter, I have a wife, I have a mother, a grandmother, all that stuff, and I'm like, I think I relate to women. But I'm still learning. I'm still evolving. I'm still like thinking, okay,
you're still a man.
Yeah, and I'm still, so I'm still a man. So there's only so much that is gonna just be like, oh God, this is everything. I got it. Like everything that a woman is feeling, I feel it. You know, I just
barely know how you gonna know.
You know, so yeah. So I think I'm just trying to relate, and so this is my actual thought. I finally got back to it. Praise Jesus! You need a shout there. But
we swimming through it.
It was in a Dave Chappelle interview, and he's talked about the Dave Chappelle stand up, and he was like,
when he was standing up or sitting down.
He was sitting down.
Okay,
and I can't say the title. I forget the name of it. I forget the title.
Okay, it's
a Netflix special. But shout out to his Netflix special. It was the second one.
I don't want you to lose your thought. Stay focused.
All right. So he was basically talking about how, like, Ben Affleck kind of came out, and he was, you know, I guess saying something against, you know, women's rights and all that, trying to stand up for women. But then that immediately, the sex scandal clapped back, right? And it was just a take on, like, hey, every guy that is gonna stand for women's rights isn't gonna have like some clean, perfect slate. You know what I'm saying? And and guys are gonna have the chance to evolve,
redeem themselves.
Either maybe? You know, or I mean, either do you want ally? You know, you want allies, right? You want people that are gonna stand up for women's rights. You don't want to let foxes in the hen house, right? But you want to have men are going to evolve. People are going to evolve. People are going to be where they were at one point, and they're going to say, this isn't right. And people are going to have to have a chance to do both sides. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I guess the easier way would be for them to,
so that was just what
if they already know they had some shade in their past, to basically spill their own tea and then say, I used to be this way. I'm reformed. I've been delivered.
Because I think that's
you know. And now I want to spend some time, you know, giving towards the cause of women, because, and I think that as a person who has, you know, assaulted a woman or sexually assaulted a woman and kind of been through that turmoil or whatever, if they really have kind of righted their wrongs in a sense, they are probably a perfect example of that, because they know the trauma, because they put somebody through that and they had to experience it on the other hand to be able to
look at it,
to be able to say, like, you know what, I did this, right? And I know that it's wrong and I want to be forgiven, right? And I want to be able to stand. It would be the same thing if, like, Chris Brown was like an advocate for domestic violence, you know,
which would probably be a great one,
because he's you know, we know what he did. Yeah.
and this is the thing that he likened it
and
to.
Shout out to his Netflix special.
he likened it to, I'm gonna read this comment next. He likened it to apartheid. And he likened it to apartheid, when the only way that in apartheid in South Africa, where they had a system which was in place, it was like a literal legal system to oppress people, and eventually
America.
They had theirs wasn't they had a legal system too, which was Jim Crow, but they never had a meeting of minds to
change it.
To just not change it, but also people who benefited from it, people who took place in it, who participated in all levels. They came together and they all kind of sat around and they talked it out, and they said, this is what happened. this is how I participated. This is how I was able to gain an advantage because of these situations. And then you clear it, and then you guys can move forward, right? And that's what he likened it to in his example. I'm not Dave Chappelle, so obviously watch the special. It might come out more eloquent. But what I will say is there's all right. So on the chain of these events that happen, right? You got the guys that are in power. They're looking down on people. They're looking down on women. They're looking down on whoever they can, and they're taking full advantage of the situation at hand because they're in a powerful situation. And then you also have people who are benefited from it, right? And you guys playing with the mics and
Charles, keep going.
That's very distracting. I don't know if you know.
Oh my gosh!
All right, but anyway, so you got people who are taking part in that, and you got people who, like women, for example, who was Harvey Weinstein's assistants, who are people who knew, but they didn't want to lose their position. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That know that, hey, this guy is a dirtbag. He's calling people to their room, saying they're going to a strip, and these women are leaving out crying, or at least they know that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they know, they're playing a part in it, but it's like this ecosystem that's created, and people are benefiting from this ecosystem that, while it's negative, they're also, we got women who said no, who didn't want to go down with the whole situation, and they're coming out, speaking out, right? Those survivors, those are victims. But then you got women who also probably are not speaking out that did benefit. Maybe they got roles. Maybe they didn't deny. You get what I'm saying? So they also need to come and speak out too, and be transparent, and just say like, hey, these things happen. This is how, by us participating in these roles, this is how this thing was covered up. This is how this thing continued to happen. And, that would allow this to evolve into where it needs to be.
Well, that would mean them taking some type of actual ownership for the part that they played. And they probably don't want to, feel bad in a sense that they took part in, hurting somebody else's life. Because a lot of people just don't want to admit the truth, because that means that they will also themselves be a bad guy or be looked down upon. So they're like, well, I'm just not saying anything because then my name won't be in the fire.
Well, also it's part of the norm, in Hollywood. So if and just think about it, as a woman, and not saying that we would do this, but as a woman, if okay, I can flirt a little, or I can do X, Y, and Z to get a role. That wasn't a secret that people would do certain things to get certain roles, in different films.
Flirting
and so,
is different.
But I'm just saying, maybe flirt initially just to get your way. I know women do that. Women flirt to get
Some
what they want. Whether
I'm confused as far as what's flirting.
Flirting can be, and some people take it, do what you got to do. Some people it's just using what you got. What you that.
What do they got?
Okay. You had a comment on your Instagram.
Forget about it.
I'm done with you right now.
All right, whatever. Anywho, let me read this before I see if I want to read this on the radio.
Why? Read it. They put it.
Yeah, but women need to understand that it's not about them. It's about power and privilege.
Yeah. See, didn't I say that too? Also the thing with the men, men.
My uncle. Actually.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Uncle Handy.
James.
That I said that it was power. Sometimes the men, if men were sexually assaulting other men, it wasn't necessarily a sexual thing. They wanted something sexually from the man, but sometimes it literally was a power thing, because I'm in this position, I'm in this role, I can do what I want, I can make you, you know what I mean? Of course it's probably going to have some sort of sexual backing to it, but it comes down to just the power moves, being able to move and shake how you want to when you want to, because you can. You know what I mean?
It's definitely the power dynamic. And then all right, you got, like I said, you got on one side of the spectrum, you got the dirt bags, the straight up, hands down. I mean, I don't even want to go down. You know, I call him Uncle Rush, but it's Russell Simmons, who now has several rape accusations.
Well, I'm not surprised about that either.
You know, people keep saying, I'm just like, you know, it's shocking. It's shocking to me. I mean,
I don't put a lot of stuff past a lot of people. I think that, which I'm going to say now, but I'm gonna come back to it too. Like when I saw the video of the sex toys or whatever, those dolls, not toys, the dolls, the sex dolls.
I guess they're toys.
Dolls. Mutant mechanical companions, whatever. I was thinking in my head, dang, that's gross, that's crazy, that's wild. And then my second thought was, there's definitely a market for this. I am sure there are plenty of people, and I don't put it past.
That's what I said too.
A bunch of people who would.
Seeing pictures. Nah, look, hey.
You know, you never know what people do in the privacy of their own room or home. But that was my
point.
In about 40 years, I might get me one.
You gonna get one before 40 years, and that's
that technology is getting closer and closer. You know,
them things are gonna take over the world, and the humans that create it are gonna be hot.
Hey,
stupid.
That technology is looking pretty close to
pretty like real, right?
Yeah,
like
pretty close,
pretty
to
like us.
I don't know how it feels. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it smells.
How it feels.
You know? Yeah,
probably smell like grease.
Are you curious?
That's the whole point.
There's
right?
curiosity though.
Yeah, I mean, look. Look. When I seen this joint, I think it was on Real Sex.
Can't trust no robot.
When it was on Real Sex, probably like 20 years ago or something. Anyways,
was it a doll? Like
it was like a straight up doll, and I was like,
but it was a blow up doll.
No, it was a real life doll, like hair.
But it was real, or was it like
the same kind of doll? But it just started. I'm saying this has been over years. They just been
the first
trying
version.
to perfect it. Yeah, they just been trying to perfect it. So I'm saying, I mean, when I first seen it, I thought that was the weirdest thing. You know, like only some creep would do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like I'm
some
saying,
of y'all friends probably got that doll.
No, but I'm saying the ones I seen.
Some of y'all friends got that doll in their closet right now.
The ones I seen recently, that is not on level 10 creepy than the ones I seen 20 years ago. I'm just like,
right.
Okay, guys.
Okay, so but I wonder.
Same as y'all little rabbits and dildos or whatever that y'all be having under y'all bed or whatever. I'm just saying. So now all of a sudden,
men got their chance.
So I'm just saying.
I don't have.
Let's.
But I wonder. I wonder though. I have a question for you though.
Asking
Charles.
for a friend.
I have a question for you. I have a question for you though, because I'm wondering that because me and Tangie were talking about it yesterday when I saw her, because she was like, are you all gonna talk about them dolls? And I said, oh my God, like it was just funny because I was like, why is this all on my newsfeed right now? Like, did they just have like some kind of blowout sale or something? Like, I don't understand.
I mean, it was just
people are thinking
it was just
it.
first
They want
it was just these Instagram videos I seen, and it was just like dude was like touching them, and I'm like, to be honest with you, this is what I will say. I've been out. I don't go out much, but when I do go out, what I do see is I see fake lips, I see fake hair, I see fake eyelashes, I see fake butts, and I see fake boobs. That's what and it's
so
not.
humans are turning into.
No, I'm saying it's not just like it's cartoonish.
Yeah,
almost. You get what I'm saying? Like not just like. And these are women, real women, right?
Right.
That are doing this. And then I'm seeing this weird. Yeah, the doll is. It's a blow up. It's a sex doll, so it's definitely taboo, but it's not that far off from what is being injected into these women nowadays.
Well, I mean, when you put it like that, that's crazy. But you saw the doll, how it was like they put the technology to where it's like you can talk. It almost reminded me of like Google Home type, that technology where it remembers your name. You can ask it questions. It responds to you. It talks back to you. You can ask it. You know what I mean? You can have a conversation with it. So they're creating it so that it basically can be your companion. Like, who needs people? I mean, at this point,
like I said, in about 40 years, that technology is going to be too good to pass up. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to need me a nice little hot sex bot Tenderoni. No.
And I saw a sex bot. And I saw like the one video of this guy. So he's bringing his girlfriend in to like introduce her
To the sex doll?
Yes, to his dolls,
God.
right?
Okay.
And so she's like, wow, like what is this? Like what's going on here? And he's like, yeah, like these are them. I think he had 3 of them laid out at the time. And she was like, well, how many of them do you have? He was like, I have 8. And then she was like, well, do you use them at the same time? He was like, well, no, not at the same time, but he interchanges them, and she's like, well, about how many times a week, are you interacting with these dolls? And I think he said like 3 to 4 times a week or whatever. And then she was like, well, it doesn't really bother me as long as when I come over, it's all about me. And he had them set up at the dinner table while they was having dinner together. I said, This is too much.
Crazy.
This is too much.
That man is crazy. She should leave him.
He got 8 of them.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
He's
eventually,
crazy.
she's not going to be any type of entertainment to him. Like, think about it.
Because he's going to have a doll that literally is going to do exactly what he
can do whatever he wants with the doll. The doll don't have to give him attitude. The doll don't have a period. The doll don't have all these things. So it's like,
24/7 access.
So, exactly.
To
Won't
multiple
complain.
women.
She don't get sick. You know what I mean? She don't have to worry about any type of diseases. She's just there all the time. Like, how can a human compete with that?
Them things gonna start having babies soon. Y'all better relax.
Yeah, I don't know. The doll, I will admit, is crazy. But at the same time,
these things are to try to help pedophiles.
Whoa.
To be cured. That's why they
How
originally
do you cure a pedophile with a grown-up
that's what it
doll?
I don't agree with that.
So do they?
I want nothing to do
have
with the
kid
dolls.
dolls? Because that would be
It
crazy.
says that these child sex robots.
See,
they also have some child
those are the
ones.
child ones. That's wild.
Yeah, you looked up.
The other one's right here, but
Yeah,
I mean, they're making child ones too to try to help pedophiles. That's crazy too.
No, that's.
Do you think that would be a good alternative for men who like to cheat?
100% not. I don't even
Get a doll.
Don't even like this.
Maybe.
No.
No, she said get a doll for like men who like to cheat. Maybe that'll be like will help them not cheat with other women.
I mean, I don't think so. Like I said, it's all about.
He said, I don't want to talk about this.
I think it's. I mean, you just threw me off with the whole like kid thing, but then we brought it back with some adult stuff again.
Well, you brought it back to the kids.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got some pictures here, guys.
So we ain't sounding all like too off.
So you don't think that we're just making stuff up? I promise you, I didn't think it was real at first when I saw them things like turn like this, like in the old school movie. Like, can you imagine one of them dolls like just up in the dark and you forgot it was in there?
Wow, that's a little extra.
Oh my God!
Hey, I think I seen her at the club.
I think I think Charles would hook up with her.
I don't know why.
That's a little disturbing.
Why are you gonna put that on me
disturbing.
anyway?
I know that you wouldn't because you are a sound man.
Yeah, I mean, look,
that's
like
a little
I said,
disturbing.
That's still
Personally.
they still ain't got the technology 100% where it needs to be, but.
Wait, but you say it like if you get it right.
Oh, they got pregnant ones.
Yeah.
Oh no! And why is she in like a
so now you can have a pregnant dog? Jesus,
wedding dress thing.
See, this is creepy.
Still got some work to do, but they trying. They trying. Hey, I mean,
they should. You know what they should do? What would be a better use of those dolls is just allowing like days in the prisons and then just let them have at the dolls.
Yeah.
And then,
Wow. Put the sex dolls in the prison.
I mean, there could be something. I mean,
something, I guess.
It's better
so
than
the man ain't effing the other man?
It's better than the Fifi. Or
the who?
That's what dudes got to use in prison.
The Fifi?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
What's the Fifi?
Right. Inquiring minds.
You gotta look it up.
What's the Fifi?
You brought it up.
You brought it. Yeah,
Google.
what's the Fifi? I'm sure that ain't on Google if I type in Fifi.
It is.
Be real.
It is.
And we don't want to see photos or something. Fifi schedule? No, you put in some other stuff.
It's like a
Fifi bag, a Fifi toy,
yeah,
a Fifi doll, a Fifi commercial.
I think see like
Fifi.
It's basically like these dudes kind of put together this makeshift kind of sex toy, vagina.
Oh, wow! So they like blow up 2 little things or something to make it.
You could like you do it with like a glove or whatever.
Wow.
you know,
The
hey,
things people do.
You got to get creative, I guess, right?
Make a fifi, y'all. It works.
Hey.
She
Would
gonna
you
say it
rather
works. Like,
would you rather
do
that
you
or a
know?
sex doll?
You know what? We might have to deal with the
I
sex
don't
doll
know. I don't know. Like, okay, Sugarfoot. Would you? I'm not even gonna bring John into it. Let's say you're dating somebody else, and you found out that they had, we're gonna call her Diamond. They had a diamond doll. Yeah, they had a diamond doll.
I ain't competing with Diamond with nobody. It's either me or Diamond, bro. You better figure it out.
Look, I'd be like, look, Diamond.
Is Diamond gonna meet your
I
needs?
ain't got no diamond body,
Okay.
so I'm already
Diamond gonna
losing.
take you to
Well,
the store.
technically, you
Diamond
could go get one. You know, if you
Nah.
really wanted to.
Why would I go get a diamond body when he already got a diamond doll? You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Who ain't gonna never change. Just yeah, no. Diamond
Yeah,
gotta go.
no, I mean, look, she still ain't got the real deal. You know, she's.
How you gonna tell your wife you got a diamond?
No, I got a diamond ring. You know, but, no, I mean, like I said,
Did they have men ones? Look up the men ones.
They have men sex dolls?
I don't know.
You don't need a doll. Women got a million different
But
ways to get.
But they don't talk,
You know,
do they?
hey, that's not what they focused on.
Sometimes women just want a companion. I just assume that if they have them for women, if they have them for men, that
That's the one I saw.
they have them for women.
This one?
Especially because there are more women,
Oh, it's touchscreen.
you know, who
I
are
was like,
who
"Nah,
are
let me touch it."
single than those who are not. You guys, this stuff is crazy. You can Google it, but these things look real, and it's just like the real baby dolls that they have.
They really got them looking all seductive, like
Right?
like, this is crazy. All right, we got to go into something else because that's kind of wild.
It is.
If you haven't, I'm sorry, y'all. If you haven't seen it, you probably don't want to check it out because
Unless you're into that kind of thing,
you might
Then,
become
hey, check it out.
interested or something like that. But yeah, it's wild.
All right,
Charles?
so circling back to this thing, because so on Aziz Ansari's situation.
Oh, you never made your point.
No, this is something different. So he recently kind of sparked a new element to that conversation.
Okay.
Of the Me Too and the Time's Up movement, because he basically then they call it a bad date. So he went on a date with a young woman. This was this report that was published by Bape.net. A woman anonymous after receiving a Golden Globe Award for Master of None.
Okay, he did win. I remember that.
But he had on that carpet. He had a Time's Up pin on the carpet and all that. And so him having the Time's Up pin sparked, I guess, a new conversation sparked this woman into reaching out to Babe.net to tell her story about the date that she had with Aziz Ansari. And essentially she kind of detailed the night they met. She released some text messages, but essentially other people going through her accounts and different news outlets and women, and especially first they were saying it was sexual misconduct, and then
on his part,
and then like that's how it was phrased or published, and people were kind of looking at that, and now people are like, hey, from your account that you published, it's more like a bad date, you know. They come, basically the long and short of it is they met at this party, they exchanged numbers, she was doing photography, he was taking pictures, I guess she meets him at his place, and they have like a glass of wine or something, they go get dinner, they come back, they get undressed, he like goes down on her, throughout the night she kind of, they give each other, she gives, I guess, she calls it nonverbal signals and things of that nature, that she wasn't with it, but he didn't pick up on it.
Wait, at what point is she giving the nonverbals? While he's going down on her?
I guess no, not
like
it was
he did a terrible job.
I get that's some people are saying that maybe he did a bad job, whatever the case is. And she goes to the bathroom, she comes back, and then she ends up giving him oral sex or whatever.
Okay, so where are the signals?
I guess the signals was like when she came back from the bathroom, she said she went to the bathroom to collect herself. She comes back, and then she sits down on in front of him on his floor, and then he's like pointing to his genital to get for her to
my
go down.
turn.
I guess basically, and then she reluctantly, I guess, I don't know, she does it, but she did, and she's like, I don't know, she kind of was also in the regret, and also looking back, she said she cried on the way home. Because I guess he was also kind of going back and forth like, hey, it's no fun if you're not into it. And then it's like one of those things when you're, if you're kind of in the room and you're, in a horny guy or a horny girl, whatever, y'all in the room with each other, and you kind of like going back and forth like between into it and out of it and back into it kind of thing. And I think he didn't realize like, once you kind of are actually engaging in these different sexual acts, that the person is still.
But I feel like we talked about something like this before. Like, I don't know if it has something to do with insecure or not, as far as getting consent, like at every moment. You know what I mean? Like, would you really like stop to get consent at every moment? Like, okay, are you still? Down for this? Are you still okay with this? Okay. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And a good portion of this whole time, they're both naked while this is going on too. Not to say that's automatically means like full consent, but it's still like just it's a kind of like one of those things where you're like, yeah, I thought she was I definitely could see why you would think she was into it, you know what I'm saying, or interested in hooking up or whatever.
So what was the gist of her argument? Was she saying that he didn't assaulted her?
One of those things.
He's a hypocrite at the time.
He's a self-proclaimed feminist, so that's one of the things that she felt that he was maybe like a wolf in sheep clothing, in a sense that he comes out like for women's rights and he's about women, and he has, because he's famous, people, that's where the power comes in, is because of his fame. You see him in you get a sense of who he is before you even know him. And then, and then you have this thing in your head like, oh, he's for women, he knows what's up. And then you get there and he's like, hey, I got this young woman in my apartment. I want,
like them feeling like they have to because of kind of like who he is.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of people would say, going back to like just using Tupac as an example, like he can get any woman he wants. Like how or why would he ever, try and take advantage of a woman or assault a woman? And my argument, not specifically to Tupac, but just that kind of idea of somebody who's good looking, who, has fame and notoriety, who loves women, we know, you know what I mean? And could potentially get any woman because women are literally throwing themselves at him. But at the same time, having that air of like, do you know who I am? So if it did go down, you're in the room and it's like, I'm okay, I don't want to. And it's like, what do you mean? You don't want to?
You forgot who I was.
Like, who's going to turn me down? Type of idea. So I can see how that can happen with men who are in power or who have celebrity status or something like that. Like feeling like that narcissistic idea of that, everybody loves me, like everybody wants me, and who are you to try and act like you don't? And anybody, I think anybody, you don't even have to have celebrity or money, can kind of misconstrue some things where maybe she's playing hard to get her, or maybe she is cool, or
Well,
maybe I can
ultimately-
convince her.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the gray area, or the area that I am like kind of like wow about, is because I'm like, this is the era that's changing. Is like, I'm like the baby please kind of thing, because I mean, all throughout history, dudes is begging women. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby please, baby please. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing. I mean, I go back to like cartoons and stuff. I'm like, look at Pepe Le Pew, right? The skunk. And Pepe Le Pew was probably the biggest, I don't know, sexual assaulter, right? I mean, especially in this day and age.
But
then he at the
cartoons weren't the best examples.
It wasn't,
either.
but I'm just saying, for
When
example,
you're right.
This is what's in kids' minds, and
right?
You know, he's like, come on, kissing. Any girl the girl that he would see, and then eventually the girl would end up like falling for him, and then like following him and kissing him around. You know, it's just one example of like, I'm using that, but then you go to like any R&B. From the classics to the new stuff is like a guy, please, come on, you know, I need you, I want you, you know, and this is like, I mean, it's just a reflection of what dudes are doing now. It's not our, just, I mean, right? Am I tripping? Like, you guys are women, so
right.
I mean, I know on my side, that's
well, you know what? Because I feel like there have been times where I was made to feel uncomfortable by a man who was like trying to push too hard in a sense of like, no, I'm not interested, or no, don't touch me, or you know what I mean, leave me alone. Like, you don't have to be overly aggressive. You don't have to grab me. You know what I mean? You don't even have to physically touch me at all. You can use your voice. Hello, hey, Miss Lady. If I don't stop, let me go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there have been times of being felt like that. Like, okay. What? Yeah. What do you want? Like, leave me alone. No, I don't want to give you my number. Or giving your number so that somebody can leave you alone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that it can stop, because you don't know what the other person may be capable of. Because if you don't, then something worse could happen.
Because a lot of them go too far sometimes. And like, it's just so much over aggressiveness. Like, for what?
And let me ask you this: what about the baby please that ends up with a night of sex and passion and love making, or
but
whatever?
I think at any point, if you, whether you know that he's
so I'm just wondering. No, I'm saying so. Dude isn't like, oh, come on.
But if she,
you feel like he got suckered into having sex.
But if she consents,
that's what he wants to know.
If
has it happened? I don't know.
If she consents, then at the end of the day, that's still consent, whether you felt bad about it or whatever, unless you really felt like it wasn't suckered into, more of like, I was scared and I felt you know what I mean? That's different.
I get that. I understand that. It's totally different.
But if you felt bad and you were just doing a favor, or you felt like
tip in. A dude say, let me stick the tip in.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Hey. Like everybody's heard that once in their life.
You sound like
everybody has heard that once or twice in their life.
We were just talking about it, the wood.
No stunt.
Right.
So is that ever work?
But that's still consent. That's still consent.
No, that is. I'm just saying, but still, that's still like a different form of pressure, baby, please.
Well, it is in a sense, but if that woman gives in, no different than the man, right? Yeah. No, women be like, "Come on, baby, please." Like,
I don't know how much begging women gotta do.
But that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But I will say, I don't think women.
I don't care about your.
Have you guys
women
asked, on whatever? I don't think women ask for consent. Have you ever asked a guy for consent to do anything?
For consent?
Yeah.
Like his consent?
Yeah.
No, because it was no.
Okay. So like, is that what is that? Because he could go back and say, I never consented to any of this.
He probably can't.
Huh?
The reality of it. But
right.
I mean, I can only speak for myself. I think I'd more so kind of wait to make sure that that's even what you want to do, if that might be on my mind before you, if that makes any sense. Like, I'll relax and chill, and if that doesn't happen, I'm cool. But if you come on to me and I wanted that, then okay. But if not, I'm not.
But it's not like it's a verbal
the
conversation
right.
sometimes. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what that's
feed
basically my whole. As of right now, the best thing that they actually got an app. There's literally an app for that, but there's to consent for two people to
like sign an agreement
to say that they're consenting to sex.
Wow.
There's an app.
Well, that's like what you call it, which will be coming out soon. You know, yeah. You
Get
know
the app, guys.
50 Shades.
Oh,
Freed. You know, because
they got an app for it?
No, they don't have an app. She signed a contract
they signed a
before
contract.
they started their wild because she could have easily called sexual assault, rape, all types of stuff with the stuff they was doing in the room, in the red
Maybe I
room.
gotta
That was
watch
some
that
doll
movie.
stuff. They probably don't have a doll.
So he definitely look. I got this paper signed.
yeah.
You said I can be as rough as I want to be, or whatever.
But is
whatever.
that like, how far can he, you know what I'm saying, go? 'Cause,
as long as he don't kill her?
yeah.
right?
Because basically, at this point, my recommendation for any dude, especially a dude who is out here like
Single.
single and trying to mingle.
Out there. If you
It's
out
like,
there,
you better. I mean, what I'm learning is you better consent, and you better, everything is about can I. It's like you really damn near got to ask everything you do, and you gotta be like, is this okay? Is this okay now?
well, you would probably have to go
okay?
as far as to just text it before. You know what I mean? So you have that because even
Let
if
me
you
text
verbally
you and
say it,
ask
you
you.
can always go against what you said. I said, and people can always change their mind, and that's why it gets like wishy washy. Because if I don't, and sometimes I know that women could do this and men likewise, but it could have been cool. And the whole situation could have been cool, and then something went bad, and now it's all bad, and the relationship is messed up, and so now it's like, okay, well, I got you,
and that's you never want to discount somebody's, and that's the other part. You never want to discount anybody's experience or how they perceived it, and I definitely am understanding that one person could have, we're all three here having this experience. We could all have different. We're all also having different experience. We're experiencing the same thing, but we're having different experiences simultaneously. So it's like with sex, I always looked at sex like we had sex. If we had sex, for the most part, that's pretty cut and dry, right? We consented to it. We had sex. There's a lot of sex that happens that is basically off of energy, off of flirtation, off of touching and things like that. Mm-hmm. No consent that really is verbally exchanged. Like,
well, could somebody make the argument that my body consented, but my mouth didn't? Well, you know why I say that?
I think women get like upset or like they want something extra out of this man, maybe money, whatever the case may be. So then after they have sex, if their man doesn't give them then what they want, they use the fact that they're a woman and that's a man, and they can say that something happened that really
feel
didn't
like
happen.
That's a porn.
I feel like that's happening a lot too because these men have money.
That's a form of an assault as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because trying to trap men or trying to do all of that, like it's just in a different form, but it's the same. To me, it becomes a psychological thing that can harm a person. But the reason why I was like, my body consented, but my mouth didn't, is because, which I thought was an interesting thing when I was watching Iyanla Fix My Life, one of the episodes she had specifically with the men who had been sexually assaulted as children or younger men or whatever. She had asked a question like, well, have any of you ever been guilty of being assaulted and having an erection or a sexual response to what was going on at the same time and felt ashamed for it? Like I know that I'm being violated right now, but I'm also turned on at the same time. Mm. You get what I mean? And I thought that concept was like super deep. Like, wow, like, because your body is your body. Your body is reacting to what's going on, even though you're not okay with what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, right?
That's kind of deep.
Yeah, I definitely think that especially younger dudes that have their first experiences is probably really confusing for them, especially at a young age where they are just learning themselves or learning their own bodies, and then just having to deal with their first encounters, not being with, you know, a woman or whatever from a sexual assault. Mm-hmm. It just has, a woman or a man, just your first encounters being from a sexual assault, not understanding, like, something I learned is when people, a lot of times they say when people are sexually assaulted, they go one or two extremes, which is like shut down completely, or they just go kind of buck wild and like just go ham to just, I don't know, just feel everything. Just take, I guess they're taking their own control back in a sense, and they just like go all out. I think there's basically what we're discussing is it's a lot of nuance to these the current state of affairs, and just you know, sex in general. It's a lot of nuance to it, but you know, the best that we can do is communicate. You know, that's the best thing that I would say for anybody. And yeah, text messages, things of that nature. I mean, I would say maybe text messages isn't the right thing if you're if you're doing it to subordinates, because that's been getting a lot of dudes in trouble, you know, at work.
How about you just don't mess with the people at work if you're going to get in trouble for it?
Come on. I mean, I don't.
There's some jobs where it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
a lot of people date people at work.
Because people,
I'm saying there are some jobs
all
where
day,
you
every
can't
day,
do
sometimes. All jobs, you're really not supposed to do that. Date inside of the workplace. Almost a lot of them, they don't want you to date inside of the workplace, or at least find a partner there. You know what I mean? Like, well, because some people do come in. I know a lot
of teachers find each other.
They hook up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you think about it. You're in your own classroom. It's not like you know, you can't be like interacting all inappropriately, you know, at school or whatever. But I feel like there's some industries where it's like, okay, it's fine. You know, like Hollywood, right?
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know how fine it is.
They all date everybody.
Because then it becomes this whole power dynamic. And that's the thing, too, with Hollywood. What I'm noticing is, like, these dudes climb this ladder. They get in this really high position. And it's this interesting thing that happens where a lot of, you know, attractive women are also, like, hey, you know, wanting their time, attention, and I think, I don't know, it's just like, yeah, Hollywood is one of those places that, you know, your power, you know, you can use your power for good or evil, and it's like, seems like a lot of people just decide to go to that Darth Vader side, use the force for evil. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's weird too, not weird, but they say, like, especially with directors, and one of the things for even female directors is like you're supposed to want to like fuck your lead, like your lead actor. If you have, like, if you're directing a series or something, or casting somebody for a series, and you got like a leading man or a leading woman or whatever, like that would be somebody that you're like sexually attracted to. Like that would be your perfect mate or something, you know what I'm saying? And because of that ends up happening all the time. But I think it's also because you're making this person like this, you know, sexy person. If that makes sense, like you're making them like
fit to your needs.
Yeah, fit to your, like, whatever you're telling this story. You're telling whatever story it is. And you've like got this person that is like, oh my God, every woman is gonna fall in love with him because, you know, I'm gonna put him in this perfect situation. And this these are like your things that you're coming up with, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And this is so essentially like when you're seeing, like, for instance, I don't even want to say directors because I don't want people to think I'm trying to put them out there, but I've heard directors say I heard on Howard Stern, but that's what they were saying that's the rule of thumb. Basically, is that your leading person is that's what you like. You know what I'm saying? That's
who you would be attracted to.
Yeah, 100%. And because of that,
Never heard that, but hey.
Well, I will say I hope that Spike Lee is not doing that. But in other news,
segue.
We were talking about like new relationship trends. So even though She's Gotta Have It as a remake, I feel like, because I was having conversation with some ladies, and we're just kind of talking about relationships of today and how there are there's a place for a lot of women who don't necessarily want to get married or have a traditional type of relationship in that manner, but are more open to having like life partners and or kind of dating, serial dating, or just having sex with whomever, whenever, you know what I mean? No, what I want to say, like ties. no ties, no attachments, kind of, just kind of that free life. And I feel like as we evolve more as the years go on, it's kind of that idea of just kind of be more free. And what happens is you have all these different people, this is my theory, that are on different relationship pathways. And so dating becomes difficult because you may be on that, I'm trying to work and have fun and I don't want no kids and I don't want to have to deal with that, but you keep running into men who are like, they want to find a wife. You know what I mean? So it's not going to work because you're on two different pathways. Then you might have the woman who's like, I really do want to get married, you know what I mean? But I don't want a traditional type of marriage. And then you meet the men who are like, no, I'm cool. I just like dating. I just want to have fun. I don't want anything serious. So it's like really just meeting people on all these different levels and not really clicking or meshing to where you can make it work long term because of that. So when I think of She's Gotta Have It, I think of Nola Darling, right? Who I feel like she's on a couple of different wavelengths.
She's on her wavelength.
She's on hers, but then at the same time, I personally feel like I can see that battle where, in a sense, she wants to be one way, but then she's kind of like toiling back and forth. But she's dating, 3 different men. One is married.
Separated, supposedly.
Right, but he's still married.
Right.
And they still live in the same house, but
he's sleeping in the basement.
In separate rooms.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember his name. I can't think of it. Jamie? Okay. And then there's the other guy who's just all into himself, which is annoying. Greer. Yes.
Yes, he's a model. He's a light-skinned model. And he really be feeling himself because his mother is French and his dad is black. So. And then there's Mars, who's actually my favorite.
I love Mars. I definitely think that the new age Mars is better than Spike Lee Mars. But
for sure.
She's also messing with him. So all 3 of these men kind of want more from her.
They all want more from her. Not kind of.
But they do, but then at the same time, they still got their own things going. I think except for maybe Mars, because he doesn't really seem like he's
But they all still want her. Like, they all openly, let her know, like, I want to be with you. Like, I'm trying to end it here with you. This is what I want.
And not to mention that, then she also has her other lady.
Right,
that, a girl. She has,
Opal.
who's Opal, who has a child and all the other stuff. And I'm just kind of like...
That's new, right?
No. Apparently in the old movies, she was. They didn't introduce you to her. I think they insinuated it.
Oh, really?
In the original, okay. That's what a friend told me, because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely didn't remember. No,
it was implied. I think that she was having relations with. I remember the original,
that black and white
women. Right.
It was something.
Her mom, was the original.
Oh, girl. Really? Oh, there is. Oh, okay. They brought her back. Huh?
Yeah, she's playing her mom on the. Y'all saw it, right?
Yeah,
I didn't see the. I didn't see. Okay. I saw the original.
Yeah, but okay.
You basically saw it then, for real.
But the idea of, her just kind of like, and she's shared with them. It's not like it's a secret.
She brought them all to Thanksgiving dinner,
which was
all 3 of her men, and really sat them down and was like, well, all 3 of you have asked me about the other one, so here you go.
Right.
And that was beyond crazy to me.
Like y'all can deal with it. You can figure it out. And to me,
then the girl came over after they all left.
And to me, that was kind of what I felt like is like this new age dating. Like people are really just out here. This is what I'm doing. This is me. Take it or leave it. And people are left, which you kind of said, to even though they don't want to take it, but they don't have any other options and they want what that person is offering, and so then they consent to a relationship that they maybe really don't want because that person is living their life. You get what I'm saying? And like, hey, I'm chilling. This is how I want to be, but I really don't feel like those three men, they're not getting any parts of what they want.
None. She's doing exactly what she wants, when she wants, how she wants to, all day, every day. But she lets each and every one of them know, no, I will not commit to anything serious. Yes, I'm still seeing other people, so you might want to relax. And they still are like,
well,
okay,
I think it goes back to power once again, using that word. I think that she, men have done that to women for 100 years, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, now I'm definitely seeing women just, as Rihanna likes to say, savage. The savagery of women is getting up a couple notches, you know what I'm saying, in recent history, that I would see as far as like, women just having, multiple, like, this guy's this guy, and this guy takes me to the movies, and then this guy
guys for occasions.
Yeah, this guy comes over when I, after this guy gets on my nerves, and like that whole situation.
But it's more normalized for like men and women to both be okay with that. Whereas before, if it was a secret, it was hush. And people were, and
most likely it was a dude. It wasn't a girl.
A woman doing that at all.
Right. And so now both are, and that's what I feel like when I watch, and I don't even really watch the series, but like Love and Hip Hops and all that. Like I just feel like it's just a bunch of people
sharing,
having an orgy.
So you know what I mean? Nola a hoe?
Well, so remember, if in the series they kind of they tackle the idea of the word freak. Because they were like, oh,
she's not a freak.
They're like, oh, you a freak because,
she says you're not allowed to call her a freak.
Because she's like I'm.
What does she call it?
She just call it like being herself. Like she doesn't want to be labeled. She doesn't want to be labeled or whatever.
Calling it herself
so
is a label.
with her, what would you say a hoe is by definition? So then I can tell you if I believe that she's that by your definition.
I mean, I guess you would just say definitely sleeping with multiple men.
Multiple. What does that mean?
By that definition,
I feel like the only difference in hers is like she really has these three men and this one girl, of course, now, and she's like sticking to those three people. But that still doesn't necessarily make it okay. But I was like, I don't know if I would call her a hoe.
Is she using protection?
Charles, what is
like
a hoe?
A different man each week,
I have no
and nobody's
idea.
sticking
Especially
around.
in 2018.
Wait, no. What was a hoe in '82?
I have what it was and what it is now is totally different.
But that's what I'm asking. What was it, and what would you say it is now?
I don't know what it was.
Well, how can you?
But I know what it was, but I don't want to go there. I want to live in a times
I just feel like
up.
Nobody's really saying.
We're in a times up era.
No, do not evade the question. I'm just asking you. Nobody is saying that you're calling anybody a hoe or anything like. But I'm asking you, as the male on the panel, what a hoe is.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I really don't. I don't like using those terms, that's very degrading to women.
Oh my goodness! He's trying to okay, we got that you are pro women.
Yeah, nah, don't get me wrong, but no, I would honestly say, look, that time times has changed.
You haven't told me what a hoe is.
Because I'm saying, you as well as I know, what people consider a hoe to be? Why
No,
you
I
asking
don't.
me?
No, I'm Charles, because you're a man, and I'm asking you because you said the way the
you
term
being
was in the
difficult?
past versus now.
Well, I'm
you
saying,
feel like
like I
it's
said, I think that her having all these sex partners would be at a certain time it would be considered a hoe, right? But like I said, nowadays she's a savage. She's a player.
You're saying it's normal.
She's
So
what
what would
she wants to
then-
be. She's living her best life.
So there are no hoes.
She's living her best life.
You know
That
what I'm
is
saying? All those
quote-unquote.
things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There are no hoes now.
I
I
mean,
really don't feel like people say it too much these days.
I think if you technically a hoe, you probably would say you're getting paid to sleep around. People are paying you to do what she's doing. Basically, I think
that's what a
technically
hoe is today.
You know, I mean, yeah, because I don't know. I mean, I think there's people that definitely sleep with a lot of people, and it covers up whatever is inside, as like they're using sex as like, you know, that thing to
A coping mechanism?
yeah, cope whatever insecurities and different things of that nature. You know, I can relate to that at one point when I was like wanting to be the player of the world or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was like that was a coping mechanism, but I definitely think that if a person dealt with whatever they was dealing with, they probably wouldn't just naturally just be like, oh, I want to have 5 sex partners.
Well, because even in
regularly,
Insecure,
you know what I'm
right?
saying?
In Insecure, she was talking about her whole phase. She
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean-
I'm about to have my whole phase.
Yeah, you can have a whole phase, turn up.
But
a
she
little bit,
said
you
it
know
with
what I'm
like pride, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like
Everybody's
with
definition different.
and hence the reason why I asked, right?
Right.
I mean, but yeah, I think you can have a whole phase. You could have a
Just as long as it's not a lifetime.
well. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's a different time where women, I feel like, are more liberated to just kind of be out there, you know, and like
Do what men been doing.
yeah. I mean,
And not
Yeah.
get judged for it. Or
I mean,
shamed.
there'll be judgment. There'll be,
Oh no, don't miss that.
I mean, there will be judgment, but I think it'll be like, I think there'll also be some non-judgment that you can find too.
So to answer your question, I do not believe that she is a hoe. I believe that she's in a relationship with 3 people. I think she's in a polyamorous
Wow.
situation.
Wow, especially
be
since
honest.
she done brought them together. They sang and danced in the
Right? I mean, if you think about it, like that's that's kind of what the idea is. You know, multiple partners, but not just, you know, you're just random. You know what I mean? But like literally building a relationship. Like she has a relationship with all 3 of those guys.
And
It ain't just I just saw
different.
you at a club and, you know, we went home and that was that. Now on to the next one and I'm trying to find a new man every night. I think that's more whorish behavior. But as far as her, she's like, she got him in rotation.
One
you
for
know,
each mood she
you
in.
look at so Gabrielle Union just had a book. Shout out to Gabby. She told me to call her Gabby.
Oh, okay, because you know her, right?
No, I met her, but she told me to call her Gabby when I met her.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to that. Oh, damn. Made me all nervous thinking about my... but anyways, she has, in her book, she kind of details that she was giving advice to a young up-and-coming actress, and I'm paraphrasing, but I was listening to somebody read like a chapter, and she goes in this detail, like, women should, you know, you only got one vagina and you should use it
Wisely?
and go out there and have fun. Should like travel and like literally just like have sex, and don't let anybody, you know, tell you that you should only have one penis and that's the way to go or whatever. So she was literally giving this girl like this whole breakdown of like, yes, I understand outwardly the world wants to see you I understand that they want to see you like one person or whatever, and I understand the value in that, but there's still a value of going out there and having just so many different experiences that,
that's interesting.
you know, you only, you know, that you'll just be like, you'll just turn up and have like the most fullest life or whatever that you never have. You never look back and have like regrets and all that. Yeah. And on that same note, yeah, go ahead.
That advice would be something you would have to give loosely, because I don't think really anyone can adequately give that type of advice, because it may work for her in her situation where she's full, and then the next person do that and find a lot of pain and trauma and all types of other things, because the assumption is that if you are having sex and you are having multiple partners, that you're having fun and you're having a good time, which is, to me, lie.
What do you mean a lie?
I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily true that because you're having sex with multiple people that you're living your best life, or you're having fun, or you're having a good time.
I mean, those are just phrases like living your best life that people really use when a girl is just really doing her thing out here, like
right. But here's the thing.
Asking questions.
Here's the thing, and I'll go back to Insecure. Even though we know that it's not real, it's fictional. However, one of the things that Issa's character realized as she was trying to go through her whole phase is that she didn't know what she was doing. You know what I mean? She was terrible at it. Almost like when she was talking to Molly and she's like, hey, well, you got to teach me how to do this because I don't really know what I'm doing, right? Whereas Molly was like, that was more kind of, I don't want to say second nature, but she was doing that. You know what I'm saying? That was her. No different than Nola Darling. That's her. You know, sometimes when people try to emulate or take on the persona of what somebody else is doing, it doesn't necessarily work. So that's the only reason why I'm saying, like, for Gabrielle Union, you said she was giving it to a, I don't know her like that, to give advice to. I
don't know if he do either, but right. Gabby.
To a younger woman that you have to do that with.
I don't make up stuff like that.
Okay, listen, with a little discretion, you know what I mean, because of the simple fact that she cannot be control of the experience or the consequence or the aftermath that happens with that, with somebody thinking like, oh, okay, this is the keys to, as you like to say, the keys to success or life, because now I'm trying to go against what I feel like, as she said, the world is telling you you only need one. And now, because I don't want to be controlled, I want to go with what you're saying. You know, Gabby.
Well, you don't know her like that. So. No. But I think I've also, you know, rest in peace to Tina Rose. She passed. It was my hairstylist in Oakland, and when I was 16,
your hairstylist,
yeah, high side locks.
I was like,
yeah,
she was lining you up.
Yeah, she was jacked too. But she passed her boy. It was like this whole domestic thing with her boyfriend. But I had to say, she's like, she passed at 20. She got killed at 28. But growing up, we would talk. She was like, "Oh, I wish I would have had sex sooner," and like she would say stuff like that. As far as like she started when she was 6, you know, most of us.
She started when she was 16, and she wished that she started sooner than 16?
Yeah, or she would be like, she would just say stuff like, oh, I think, you know, I guess people, she was with one dude, you know.
It sounds like that comes from a bad experience.
Well, you just kind of like, I guess.
No, I'm just saying, it wasn't the one dude that.
No, I think it was like, you know, I guess for me, it's one of those things where I think women, their sexual experience might be different from guys, but guys try a lot. You know what I'm saying? We try a lot of different things, and a lot of times.
You mean try a lot of different women?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then maybe women get into relationships. That's when they start. That's when they start having sex with the guy, and then they'd be like 2 years down. Now you got 2 years, 3 years, same dude, same penis.
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you
not
like
having variety.
You know, you know, the variety aspect becomes the when you start going down the word of people calling women hoes and this and that. But there is something to having multiple experiences, multiple partners, you know what I'm saying? Variety as far as it goes.
So shouldn't that continue then? Based on your thoughts that you just shared, then shouldn't that be something that continues, that you should not put a stop to?
I'm not putting a stop to nothing. What do you mean?
Oh.
I'm confused.
I don't know.
No, you're talking about multiple partners.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, if that is the case, shouldn't that be something that is continuous? Like, it shouldn't be a stop. Like, you're married. Mm-hmm. So you have one partner.
Yeah.
So shouldn't you have multiple partners if that is the case? If what you're saying is true?
No, you try a lot, and then you find a person that's how you start getting closer to what you actually like. You know what I'm saying? When you tried this, tried that, or now you start honing in on, like, okay,
what it is that you really want.
Yeah. You start seeing, like, yeah, can't deal with that.
But to that same point, couldn't it be possible that you try and try and try? I think of it like this as the analogy. Like, sometimes when you go to a place and you have so many options, it's like it's hard to decide on what you want because you want to try everything. And then you have something one time, you're like, oh, okay, that was good, but I want to try something else the other time. Versus you go and you find something you like and you're like, I like this. I'm going to stick with getting this. I could try other things, but then I'm not, because I know that this is good. So what I'm saying is the people who are like, I try and try and try, and they just can't because they've tried so many different things that nothing is really sticking. Literally.
I mean, but I feel like at some point something will.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I feel like it does slowly but surely for everybody.
Not for everybody.
There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's somebody for everybody. Sure, but it might be somebody for one person, it doesn't work out, and then that somebody is for the next person. You know. You guys got distracted.
Yo, because you're...
You gotta
all
follow
right, guys.
me. You
Well, look,
stay...
since we can't really follow Akilah, I don't really know what's going on. She kind of explaining, not explaining. We do have a caller on the line, so we're gonna talk to them really quick. So, caller, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Indu Beezy, or you can call me Beezy, and I'm from Oakland.
Hey, Beezy!
Hey!
What's up with it?
Man, I'm still up, so I said, let me call in and show some love. This is your first show of the year, right?
It is.
2018.
It is.
What's up with it?
I'm still up. What's up, baby? Is that Charles?
Yeah.
That is definitely Charles.
What's up, baby? Let's go.
Hey, Town Biz.
Not that cool.
I got that extra energy later at night.
Right, you do.
Is that where Detroit? Is Detroit in there?
Detroit is
No show.
crickets.
He's here in spirit.
I thought, yeah, his spirit is in there. His spirit is in there. It's all good. But what y'all, man, what y'all? Can I keep it all the way 100 while we on the air?
Of course.
You wasn't listening to the show.
I wasn't. Yeah, I just came back and I got a chance to call in. I said, let me just call in and we can wing it.
No, it's actually all good. You actually called at a perfect time. You know what I'm saying? So tell me this. Hey, have you been following all this sexual, what's the name, misconduct and all this, what's going on in Hollywood?
Yeah, I've been well, in the media and all the sexual misconduct, the gymnasts, you talk about that, or just everything in general that's...
Yeah.
I've been following it.
Are you prepared for Jehovah's return?
He's just coming back quick. Quick. It's too much. I think it's just a testament to... I always say the country is always an extension of its leaders, and it trickles down. So you see now all of this sexual deviancy is coming out. And I think it's something that's been going on for a long time in a lot of different arenas with people with power, people with influence. They're able to do things and they're able to quiet people because the people, you feel shamed.
Yeah.
And
shame is a key factor for sure.
Exactly. If I can shame you, then I can take your voice away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it just starts with every situation. It always just starts with one person to just be the brave soul to say this happened, and then you see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, and I think that's where, and if I could deviate from that, that's where we are with our people. It just takes one brave soul to just stand up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy though. It's crazy out there though. It is crazy, but that's why we got this show. We daughter leaders.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about the real topics. I'm trying to maybe y'all can inspire somebody on this line to stand up and just fight evil.
Definitely.
Fight evil.
And my brothers, I'm telling them, hey, I'm married, I'm retired, I'm out the game, you know what I'm saying? It's time, it's about that, they say time's up, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lord.
Just finding every way to use
Right,
that
exactly.
hashtag.
It's time to
insert. Me too, huh?
It's time to,
Right.
yeah.
Y'all, both of y'all. Yeah. Y'all got an infusion. Y'all two become one, so y'all more powerful.
Yeah. So
But,
spreading that
man,
message.
we all in this together, and I'm glad I got to call in before y'all checked out. Man, blessings, love. You already know. You know, Oakland. We everywhere. We in LA. Baby.
Everywhere. You can't
don't
get
get them
rid
started.
of us.
Just tell me.
Please don't get them started.
Check us. You better
They try, but they can't. You know what's funny, BZ?
Lord.
Okay, a couple of things I want to share with everybody. BZ, you just stay on the phone, okay?
Okay.
One, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings before I came here because I was hungry. And while I'm leaving, right, the security guard, I really feel like he was just trying to find a way to flirt. But he's like, oh, where you from? And then I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm from
Inglewood.
Oakland, of course.
Oh,
because I never say Inglewood. I mean, whether I live there, you know, I always have to tell him, like, how long you been in LA? I've been here a long time. Don't even worry about it. But he was like, oh, because you have an accent. And I was like, I have an accent. He was like, is that how people talk in Oakland? I was like,
No, you
well, I don't know. I said, I've been told that before, that, you know, it sounds like I have an accent or whatever. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe it's an LA accent since I've been here so long. But anyway, I just thought that was crazy. That's the one thing. The second thing is, over the Christmas break, well, it wasn't really it was a Christmas break for me because I'm a teacher, but over the break that we were gone, my father for Christmas got me my heritage, you know,
Wow, dope.
what
Yeah,
I am,
I did one too.
ancestry.com. And so I found out that I am West African. I am. Yeah, I'm about.
That's the wrong sound.
I don't even know what my country sound is, but I am some like 30-something% Benin or Benin or however you said in Benin. Thank you, Benin and Togo. And what was the other one? But anyway, that was the top one, and it was some other ones that are kind of like they're like bordering right there. But so now I know when I do travel to Africa that I am going to stop there first because I gotta see my people.
I'm getting my joints in too. Which services you use?
I used ancestry.com.
We got 23 and
20. I don't know what the difference
Isn't
is.
it like $100 to just get it?
Well, Ancestry had a sale during the Christmas season. It was $59.99 or something like that. So it was about $60.
Wait, come on. I heard a third voice. Who's that other girl's voice?
That's SugarrFoot.
SugarrFoot.
Oh, Jennifer. I said, hold on. There's another voice in there.
SugarrFoot.
Yeah, SugarrFoot.
It's my accent, I know.
Was good. I don't know. Have we met?
I don't think we met,
It's all love, though.
but we just met. Hi.
How you doing, girl? You solid?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. You still awake?
A little bit.
A little bit. You on your way, going on the decline. It's all good.
Almost. But I'm here.
You here, though.
I am.
The victory is you here, unlike Detroit.
Yeah, right.
Unlike I made
Look,
it.
we don't even have to throw it because the audience is.
The victory, yeah. The victory.
Hey, well, hopefully he'll be here next week. You know what I'm saying?
You know, we pray.
Yeah.
Right.
We gonna pray. He's doing big. He's doing something very important. So he out there saving the world. So we'll give him a pass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or something like that, whatever he's doing.
I'm gonna have to come visit y'all one of these days. Okay?
Absolutely. You know you're always welcome.
Always, man.
Yeah, we gonna We're gonna have to chop it up for sure.
Chop it up for sure.
We get some couples in again. You know what I'm saying?
Sir. Yes, sir.
That was kind of cool.
Man, always. Man, I know y'all keep doing. The time is where we at? How much time I got left? Oh, okay, 8 minutes. 7 minutes. The new girl. Where you from? You from LA? I can tell.
Dang, how you can tell that?
Am I good? Did I hit it on the nose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles don't know my life either.
Oh, where are you from?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I'm like, wait a second.
Right. Yes.
Los Angeles. No, I got love for it. It's a lot of, although, we never lose authentic Baymans, openness, but it's some good LA people. It's some good people, good love, some real people.
Not to be raised by some people in the South, though, because my mom's side is from Mississippi. My dad's side is from Atlanta. But I was raised out here.
See, there we go. See, she got a little.
You got it in your heart and in your blood.
It's running through
me.
She
got a little hybrid. She got a hybrid in there. She got
a little bit. You see, I'm versatile.
Yeah, that's good. That's what's up. Yeah. So you a different kind of LA.
Exactly.
You're more seasoned.
You all hear that? I'm special.
You are, and nobody is going to take that away from you at all. I do. I have a lot of love for LA and a lot of LA natives. I've had a good experience with meeting some really solid people out here. But I personally,
there's not too many people out here.
Well, always rep Oakland.
From
always
town big.
One of the people I know they're from here.
Hey, so what?
It's a lot of transplants.
A lot of people was giving Monique flack for.
For saying that she was the most decorated comedian alive.
She got Donkey of the Day today from Charlamagne.
Wow.
And she was trying to stand up for the wage disparity, and everybody just is like not feeling. I'm like, hey, she called for a boycott of Netflix. Personally, I'm like, Netflix is the best thing smoking right now.
I don't think anybody's going to boycott Netflix.
Yeah, for one, I ain't paid for Netflix in like
See, that's terrible because I pay for Netflix. Like, y'all need to get y'all life.
You know how many
codes? Watch, Netflix gonna start only allowing one account to be opened at a time. Do it, Netflix.
Don't play with us.
Do it, Netflix.
Hey, all right, maybe she could have.
Marcus is logged into your stuff all day.
Right. Well, it's on the TV. So you know what I'm saying? Like
somewhere else.
But that's what I'm saying. You can have like 5, 6 logins.
I think it's like 5.
5.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. That's too good of a deal to be trying.
Because that really keeps your people.
They gonna call for a boycott.
You got different accounts too, so I can watch my movies and you can watch your movies.
Right, exactly. You click on your box.
Now, some of these streaming services that
shout out to the people who are using my Netflix.
Like
slide me $5.
Spotify. Shout out to the Spotify. Shout out
because they went up $1.
But they be like,
y'all don't know that because y'all don't pay.
Yeah,
it started out.
Shout out to my
let me give you the history. Let me give you the history real quick of Netflix. It started off at like $7.99.
Well, it started off at DVD.
Then it went to $8.99.
You skipped
then
the whole
it went
DVD
to $9. I'm just telling you when I got it. $9.99. Then it went to $10.99, and that's where it is now.
Netflix is $10.99.
I need $5 on it.
Shout out
to my uncle for paying the Netflix bill and never asking me.
Shout out to my brother. Shout out to my brother. You know what I'm saying? I got a little log. You know what I'm saying? I got his log in. My son got his own little Netflix thing.
I got my own account too. Sugarfoot is in the Netflix.
Y'all out here perpetrating on the Netflix.
Monique, I want you to get your money. But
don't play with Netflix.
Look, you can't come for Netflix right now. You got to come a little bit harder than they get. They try to offer you $500K. I'm like, yes, $500K for Monique could possibly sound like a low number compared to the other
millions
that that Amy Schumer and everybody got. But the thing is, Monique, she be coming for people, and it don't seem like it's like, I don't know. She came for Oprah. She came for Tyler Perry. She came for what's his name? That was with the dude that wrote the movies for her. Who's the credit?
Lee. Daniel.
Daniel Lee. She just coming for these people, and it's like, all right, look, maybe something was going on that wasn't right, But you got to find a better way to handle certain things, especially when it comes to Oprah. People ain't riding with you when you going against Oprah. With all, you know what I'm saying?
Oprah about to run for president. She
Yeah,
better watch
She's
out.
not gonna run for
Oprah
president.
better run for president.
Well,
Fake news.
she's not running, but
don't be distracted. Stay woke.
yeah, all of that.
All of that.
Hashtag, that's the new lingo. It don't even mean nothing, but you just say it and you sound like a conscious individual.
For real. But yeah,
That's
just
the new
say
way.
yeah, you can't do can't come for Netflix. But let's just everybody get a little year-end wrap. It's time to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying?
Literally, please.
Literally and figuratively, because we about to go off. You know, shout out to anybody and everybody who tuned into this episode, just especially because it's our 2018 first episode break-in. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely kind of just was doing it off the cuff a little bit, but we gonna get it. We gonna get it in. SugarrFoot, sugar-free.
Sugar-free. Wow. Well, definitely thank everybody who definitely did tune in. It was nice to see my friends here again and be back. So I think this year will be a good year. I think we got some special things planned. Things will be fun. And next week we'll definitely be back in the groove of things.
I just want to say, shout out to Black Panther, the movie that is coming out
your pre-sale ticket?
in February. That's really what I just wanted to say, that I was not aware that we were buying our tickets in advance because everybody is trying to show up and show out on the premiere date, I believe on February 16th or somewhere around there when it comes out. So if you haven't already, because I haven't and I need to already, get my tickets so that I don't miss out in that first weekend, because definitely supporting the first weekend makes the greatest impact, and I know that it says a lot. It makes a good statement for us to come out in numbers and support a film that is a pretty much all black cast. And our first black superhero and black director, and just is Black Panther, and then play on words like Black History Month and the Black Panthers from Oakland, and just, you know.
All right, we're going to wrap it up for real.
No, the director, what's it, Ryan Coogler? He's from
who's
Oakland.
also from Oakland.
Come on. You did need to know that. You better know that. It's crazy.
Beezy, you still there?
I'm
Beezy.
still here fighting at the end to the finish line.
Yes. Give a shout out to the people. You know, you wrote it out with us for the last couple minutes, the last 10 minutes.
Man, shout out to all the authentic Oakland people, all the ones who commuted from Oakland to L.A. and brought that spirit wherever we go. Shout out. And that's all of y'all except for the new girl.
Oh, he just went out his way.
Did I have to be the new girl?
We still got love for everybody, man. I appreciate y'all love. You already know. And just we got to always support each other. That's the bottom line. That's where we at now.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. It's been real. We're going to have some more facts. And stay woke.
I don't know.
What? Okay, well, there it is.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
This is U-Nation Radio. Monday night love session. Check us out. Generation. Slow jams. Conversation.